Hello, welcome. If you're hearing this voice, no, you're not going crazy. No, this isn't your conscience speaking or the voice inside your head. It can be, but it's not. No, I'm just a mere man, a mere mortal, Billy Adams, alongside my co-host and color analyst and cameraman, Michael Zanetti.
Voice of reason.
Yes, voice of reason, that is true. With our producer, Jonathan Torres. We got championship type level games all day long, folks. We saw a great matchup with the Jaguars taking game number 1, the Liberty Edge, and the Raptors taking on here in game number 2. A Liberty Edge team that, by the way, we did not see yesterday. This Raptors team, however, we are familiar with because there's one man I know on that team we saw ball out yesterday. He's in the paint. It's Kia Jenkins.
I mean, look at the size difference already. You could see it from the two teams in terms of the Liberty Edge. Clearly has the size advantage, similar to what we saw last game, but just know, size does not win the game.
I was going to say, our producer, Jonathan Torres, mentioned it, and I quote, he said, look how tall those guys are. I mean, that was the first thing he said, but nonetheless, I mean, we saw how elusive and how quick and really how much time was not wasted with the Raptors, and unfortunately that's going to be a costly turnover already, so the Liberty Edge already with a basket and a forced turnover here, and we're not even a minute in. Looking at the floor, we got Owen Boyle alongside Adrian Pozo, Mika Zabor, Jacob James, and AJ Griffin. That is the squad that represents the Liberty Edge. And on the other side, it's Evan Sweat, D. Harden making a return. Kia Jenkins, that prowess scorer from yesterday, you see in the paint there. And that's Katrin Cherry Jr. also out there alongside Tylen James. That is your starting 5 for each team. 9:34 a.m. here at the Wiregrass Ranch Sports Campus in game number 2. Nice pressure there coming, and that's going to be a foul call after what should have been a blocked shot. And it did roll out of bounds, so it was a nice defensive effort there from Kia Jenkins, and we mentioned Jenkins being strong. So while that happens, we have a timeout on the floor, but Kia Jenkins yesterday in game number 1 had 20-plus points. And I remember Mike, I mean, we just kept calling his name over and over again because he was either getting a steal, a rebound, a great defensive stop, or the most impressive thing was his way of getting from point A to point B on the court.
I personally saw it behind the camera, so that was the fun time for there. But, I mean, able to do it all, right? We saw a little last game with the Jaguars. I mean, the fast-paced ability to be able to shoot, that's what you want to see. And the defense is also there.
The defense is there, but so far, the Raptors a bit outmatched when it comes to this size. I mean, we have to point that out already. We see that in number 21 in Jacob James, probably with, I'd say, about a 4 or 5 inch difference in terms of height. And you see alongside him as well in number 24 in AJ Griffin. So James and Griffin going to be some prowess and menaces when it comes to this offense and defensive scheme for the Liberty Edge. But now, what do the Raptors do? How do they get off to a better start? Because it is a 5-2 deficit. You see pressure already with the closeouts. There's Jenkins, and that was an effortless floater there by Jenkins.
That's what's going to take, Billy. It's going to take aggressiveness for this Raptors team to be able to find a way. It's going to be tough.
Here comes the paint presence from the Liberty Edge. You see early closeouts coming, working for the Raptors. That was a bit of a push, and still remains in the possession of the Liberty Edge.
I mean, that's what you have to look for, those turnovers, those fast break points. You got to be able to run the floor against teams that are going to be bigger than you.
So it's Pozo and Boyle working up top. There's a corner 3 from Griffin, and the left-handed tray that looked like the shot of Brandon Jennings on the Milwaukee Bucks days. How about Griffin? He's on the board. It's an 8-4 advantage now. The Edge finding the ball. That was a gift. The Edge finding their way to the basket. There's an outside shot. Does he replicate it? Not necessarily. Offensive board coming for Boyle. Putting it up. Off the mark was Pozo. And the Raptors find it back the other way. Here's Katrin Cherry. He lost the handle. And Cherry can't get a grasp. Here's Pozo. Pozo going against 3 defenders. He's got some help. A kick. That's Griffin from 3. And Griffin is 2 of 3 in his first 3 shot attempts from 3. You can't miss him. He's tall and he's got the blonde tips on his hair. And there is a foul on the floor. That is our first foul of the afternoon. I guess morning, actually. Owen Boyle going to be called. First team foul coming for the Edge. Well, I think that's good for everybody. That was a bit of a sloppy turn of events for either team, but it's a nice start so far for the Liberty Edge, taking advantage not even of anything but just costly turnovers. I mean, the Raptors just giving the ball up kind of effortlessly. Going to need to clean that up just a little bit. There's Jenkins. Off the back iron. Bit too strong. Back the other way we go. Here come the Edge. Going up, going in, and almost finishing was Owen Boyle.
That was a crucial possession on offense for the Raptors, and it's just been so hard to find any room to breathe. A little bit of a 2-3, kind of been pretty spread open for this Edge team. And when you look at it, the defense is what's going to be hard to get by. And when you have a 7-point game already with free throws for the Edge that he just made 1 of 2, that's going to be a problem. So got to be able to score, but the defense is going to be even more crucial.
And we know this Liberty Edge team won yesterday on court number 3, had a dominant 83-57 win against another Jaguars squad that was not the squad we saw. So that was a huge upset and a huge swing for them. So we understand why. They got height, they got speed. They're very tough on the edge. As you can see, there's a long 3, much needed off the mark from Evan Sweat, who started this game. It's back the other way we go with the Edge in the open paint, and the open lane is there for Mika Zachauer.
Quickly an 11-point game. It's been so hard for the Raptors to find some offense, but 15 points in the span of just under 4 minutes.
So here we go, working up top. That's the recently checked in number 9 of Kaysen Lewis. Lewis checks in. Checking the ball, though, is the Liberty Edge. They want it back. Unable to get it. They finally corral it in, and it's taken away by Jacob James. Already a 15-4 advantage.
Good place for the Edge to slow it down. Looks like a little bit of a pressure coming from the Raptors.
You don't want him to shoot a wide open shot. A.J. Griffin off the mark. Here's Jenkins. He can certainly get going. Lewis can't corral. Jenkins can't save it. It goes right back to the Liberty Edge.
I feel like they're a little bit frantic on the offensive end. Just slow it down a little bit. Calm down. That fast break, I feel like the footsteps were getting to him, the hands in the face. It's definitely looking to be a little bit frustrating on the Raptors side.
And you got to be careful. This could be an early 20-point advantage where the Liberty Edge could get the clock to continue running and even less time. That's the idea with these 20-point deficits. You take less time off the clock with the running clock. Here come the Raptors. That's Katrin Cherry Jr. He was strong in yesterday's Game 1 performance that we saw. He had 15 points of his own. Lewis driving. Here's a long 3, and that's on the mark, and that was much needed by Tylen James and the Raptors.
And that's how you get back in this game. You have good outside shooting. That's how you do it. And honestly, we saw their ability to be confident in their 3-ball yesterday. So a very good idea to keep the pace going.
Got Mika Zachauer working with Boyle up top. There's Griffin open, but decides to make the selfless pass. Unfortunately, it's a costly turnover. This is a big opportunity for the Raptors. They have a stop, a 3, and a chance now to make themselves get within 5. Lewis kicks it out. Here's a drive. Dishing it out. Unsuccessful there. That was Tylen James with the drive. Boyle with the steal. Here's Zachauer. Down low. It's Pozo up top working with Griffin. There's Boyle for 3. Nearly got it in. Offensive board unsuccessful, but it does stay with the Edge.
It's an interesting offensive setup for the Edge because they could do it all from inside. They got the height, the shooters, of course.
There's Pozo. Just rolls out. Offensive board. James unsuccessful. Second attempt is good, and Jacob James is on the board.
That might be bullying.
I mean, that's kind of what we expected with the height differential. He's just kind of standing there, grabbing it and taking it as he goes. There's an open shot. Passed up. Cherry Jr. with it. Pozo getting it. Jr. with his own miss. Puts it back up. And despite not getting the basket, he will go to the line for the first time today.
I mean, he's a good foot taller than the tallest player on the Raptors. And that's a good head taller, at least. And that's going to be so frustrating when you're trying to box out for a rebound, and then there's this guy just reaching over you, and you can't do anything about it. It's one of the most frustrating things as a smaller person of a guard who played myself.
So under 10 minutes remain here in half number 1. it has been all Liberty Edge, but the Raptors have had a little bit of aggression and enough fight to stay within their means of this game, and that's thanks to Cherry Jr. getting that most recent free throw. So it's only a 9-point game, still anybody's ball game. The Liberty Edge, though, when they make their makes, they're hot, and they get going fast. And here's a moment now. Boyle from an open jumper. 3 is just too strong. James, no surprise, has the offensive board. Pozo working with James in the paint. He barely got off the ground and put it in.
I thought he was going to dunk it for a second. He just went
He teased everybody. He teased everybody.
To the rim, touched the rim, put it in.
So here's Cherry Jr. The lead is back to 11, trying to retain it. That's Giovanni Jackson, by the way. He recently checked in. Here comes Griffin and James. Griffin corrals and puts it in. It's A.J. Griffin. He's got 8.
I would consider a timeout here. However, it is now a 14-point lead.
And that is our color analyst and timeout associate in Michael Zanetti. Catron Jr. takes it too strong. Here's Pozo. Back in transition we go. Griffin and Pozo working in tandem. Pozo can't get it. James trying to corral. Here come the Raptors. Roaring down is Lewis going up and unable to finish. It was waved out, and how about it? It was a timeout. I think they heard you, Mike.
I mean, they might have heard me because he looked over and said, how many timeouts do I have? But I was a little confused why they did that off a fast break. It looked like they had the numbers, so I was a little bit like
And Lewis
concerned.
drew contact in the paint. I thought he was going to get the foul.
Well, you were looking at the play. I was turned to the right.
I was about to say, we were both taking care of business on each side, right? Oh, my goodness.
Timeout associate for a reason. That's just how I look at the game. I'm not looking at the game. I'm looking at this whole small details.
And speaking of small details, I mean, when you look at this game and you digress 21-8, you would think that both teams, one is cold, one is shooting lights out, but in reality, one is turning the ball over and the other is just taking advantage heavily. 8 points off of turnovers coming for this Liberty Edge team, thanks to 5 turnovers already for this Raptors team. That is the swing, because you take that away, it's a 13-8 ball game, and it's anybody's contest.
You got to credit the defense, too. I mean, Liberty Edge, look at the fast break points. Like, with the tallness that they got, to be able to move the ball quickly, efficiently, get turnovers, that has been the biggest key in getting those points.
So 8 and some change remains. 21-8 is your score. The Raptors needing a bucket more than ever. The Liberty Edge trying to take advantage of miscalculations as they do there. Pozo goes up. Pozo cannot finish. Jenkins with a closeout on defense. Here he comes. Jenkins, a 3, step back off the side iron, and it's corralled in by Griffin. That was Tylen James with the shot. Here come the Edge. Pozo for an open corner. No doubt about it. You can hear the 3-ball chants from a mile away. The Edge have a 16-point edge.
The bench just erupted, and you got to mention it, but 4 points away from that 20-point running clock.
By the way, Jake Lundquist, number 32 of the Liberty Edge, checking in as well.
And I love the defensive pressure from the Edge, too. Up double digits, 16 points, and they're going to continue to keep the pressure on.
As we have a stoppage in play, I believe. That's to get a substitution. Cason Lewis going to check in, and checking out is going to be D. Harden. We saw a lot of D. Harden yesterday. He had 13 points in the only game that we hosted the Raptors on this court. Very solid outing. He also forced 5 steals and 6 total turnovers from the opposing team they played. He'll sit down, though. He's been awfully quiet today. Maybe needing a little bit of a breather. Griffin didn't need a breather, but misses that shot. We are halfway through half number 1, folks. It has been all Liberty Edge. Working up top there, that's Cason Lewis, guarded by Lundquist, who checked in. Lundquist showing pressure despite the small frame. He is not small in his play. How about the closeout there? Zachauer working Lundquist and Zachauer. Here they come. Griffin down court, goes up and makes the finish. It's A.J. Griffin, and the lead is now 18.
What a player right there, getting through the contact and the foul. Beautiful piece of finishing right there.
You got to give a lot of credit, too, not just to A.J. Griffin, but to Mr. Jace Lundquist. I mean, the closeout there at the left wing was so crucial in making that play happen. And even the closeout there at the end with Griffin, I mean, taking some great contact and making it happen. And that is a 19-point lead and an advantage now that could go into the halftime. It's Lundqvist and Griffin working in tandem. Jacob James has the board, no surprise. That's his 5th of the half. Here comes Pozo. Pozo to Zachauer. Zachauer can't get the handle. And what could have been a 20-plus point lead, it's going to go back to the Raptors. Maybe a much-needed stop.
Just a little bit mishandling the ball there. Went right out of bounds.
Here's Lewis working in. Jenkins still in the game. Going up and going in. I believe that is number 3 and Cullen Burnett.
Ooh.
So a big shot from Burnett.
And credit the Raptors to being able to stay on the pressure. They do not want to go down by 20. They want to try and get this game back close, and that they know that 20 points is so crucial to staying in this game and not being behind.
Up 17, Owen Boyle waiting to check in. Jacob James going up, credited by 2 Raptors there in the paint. Here comes Lewis. Lewis down court, guarded by Pozo. He's going to have some help here from Tylen James. James up top, you see Jenkins calling for it. Remember, no shot clock, folks. They can take their time. Guarded. There's Lundqvist with the closeout again, a strong closeout. Burnett, Katrin Cherry Jr. working. Jenkins up top, guarded by Pozo and Lundqvist. How about these closeouts coming from Lundqvist? Jenkins goes up, and the reverse lay from Jenkins, much needed for the Raptors.
And that's kind of what you need to just slow things down, right? Get ready back in the rhythm, and another turnover here.
So Lundqvist lost it. Lewis has it. Lewis goes up, can't get it. Katrin Cherry Jr. goes up. He can't finish. A beautiful tip by Lewis, and the 3 is just off the mark. Nearly had a pretty impressive offensive play there from Lewis.
I think a smart idea here for the Edge would be to slow it down.
You might want to. They don't want to slow it down. Griffin corralling it with Pozo. Guarded there by Lewis. Griffin and Lewis working in tandem. Cherry Jr. forces the steal. There's Barnett. He can't get a corral on it. Somebody's got to hold on to it.
Look at that height comparison. Oh, my.
Look at Lundqvist. Griffin with the 3 off the mark. Jacob James can't finish, but Griffin is able to. What a turn of events in that minute time. Here's Tylen James going up. Reverse lay off the mark. Lundqvist with the board. Boy, Lundqvist is quick.
Lundqvist next to Adams on that last possession just made me chuckle.
There's a long 3 from Zachauer.
You have the tallest player on the court and the shortest player on the court on the same team.
On the same team, 31-12 is the advantage. There's Lewis up top working with Cherry. And you see Lundqvist once again, despite a differential, he's closing out well. Pozo. Lewis going up, and Lewis draws the foul and 1, and Kaysen Lewis has his team within 17. That's a huge opportunity for Kaysen Lewis. I think something that you really need to kind of halt the momentum of the Liberty Edge.
That's the one way to get back in the game. It's had a little bit of a slow start. Keep in mind, it is early. This is the second game, still 9:50 in the morning, so still trying to find a rhythm.
Trying to find a rhythm indeed, but that was a crucial play because, again, you were down by 19, and if it's 20, the clock will start running continuously, but it's now down to 16, and if you make a couple stops here, you could go into halftime with a little momentum swinging your way for the Raptors. Here comes the Lundqvist. You see the half-court pressure by Lewis. They are wasting no time on the defensive side. Cherry Jr. nearly taking it away with Lewis. Boyle kicking it out. We got some new players in, by the way, folks. You see Lundqvist working up top. That's also Charles Wilmot. Wilmot in the paint. He'll lose it. Tylen James with the corral. Going up, going in. That one's too strong, and I think that was Tristan Norris. Junior read it. Trying to get it. Katrin Cherry Jr. has been cherry-picking all game long on these steals. Here's Wilmot going up. He can't get it.
And if you did notice, they did sub out their offensive starters to their bench, so that is kind of a key here. Try and get some buckets with the tallest guy on the court off the playing field in James.
And that is correct. Tanner Evans checking in for the Edge alongside Charles Wilmot. Cooper Sawalski also checking in for this team. And, of course, they're alongside the prowess Jace Lundquist, who, despite being in smaller frame, has made himself known on the court alongside starting point guard in Owen Boyle. So Wilmot at the line, missing the first attempt. He's got attempt number 2, however, and it's a 17-point advantage. The Raptors have been down predominantly in this game, but they are staying within that 15-point to 20-point swing just in case they get a run going. Jenkins, Cherry Jr. working. Nearly a make, and instead, it's back to the Raptors now. They take it right away.
Look, you got a little more than the ball there. That's just sometimes it's how it goes. You get it in your favor.
Wasting no time here. No shot clock. Lewis up top. They're trying to find a three-point outlet. They're guarding the paint well. No pressure to penetrate. No outlets to receive. Just kind of stagnant in nature at the moment.
And you'll see, Billy, they've changed up their offense a little bit, going man-to-man instead of that 2-3 zone.
Yes, they are. James unable to get it. They're going to let that one roll out with 2:39, now 8 remaining in half number 1. Here comes Lundquist in the edge. If they make a 3, that's a 20-point swing and a running clock remaining. Boyle working up top there. He's got Lewis to guard. Boyle has to kick it out. Lundquist wants the 3. Nearly had it. Here's an offensive board. Lundquist wanted it again, that offensive board by Sawalski. Here's Sawalski up top. There's Boyle. He'll drive. Going up. How about the dish to Wilmot? Oh, and he just can't finish, but I love the look. The Raptors pushing a bit too hard. Here comes Boyle, and the left-handed finish for Boyle is true. It's a 19-point advantage. The Raptors need answers. The answers to the test, however, they lie within the edge. Cherry Jr. can't get that one. Wilmot, he's got full court pressure. The Raptors trying to get it back. Here's some swinging going on. And Lundquist. The clock will run for the rest of the half, barring a 15-point swing. The Raptors just need some baskets, something to go their way.
And it was funny because they went on that little bit of a run, but unfortunately, that timeout has made adjustments.
There's Tylen James, that one off the mark, and the edge can probably just coast from here. 1 minute swing. Is Lundquist going to do it again? No, he wanted it. Lundquist with a couple steals. There's another one, speaking of which. Boyle goes up, can't finish. And the clock will continue to run, but Boyle should be at the line for 2. Boy, Mike, 22 points is the swing here. And the edge, I don't even think the height advantage has been much of a factor. I think it's just the clean. At times. If we had to say a game decider, I don't think that's been the deciding factor.
I would say it's the defense.
It's the defense, exactly.
I mean, the height's played a little bit of a factor.
A little bit, yes.
James is just standing over everyone and grabbing like 8 rebounds.
But he's not dominating. Right. He's not dominating like we would think. So 10 seconds remain. There's Cherry Jr. trying to get it back. His own miss twice and thrice removed. It's going to be Lewis with the last shot of the half, I believe, and that does capitalize on our half. It was action-packed, but more so on one end with the Liberty edge. The Raptors, however, as we've noted with the way these games swing, there's still plenty of time and plenty of opportunities going in. 24 points. I mean, it's game number 2, folks, and it can't get much better than this. Not a lot to talk about, so we're going to take a break, and we will come back for second half action in a couple minutes' time, and we will be back right here on the Florida Athletics Network. And welcome back, folks. 39-15 is your score. Again, it was all Liberty Edge in the first half, thanks to strong performances from guys like Jace Lundquist, Mika Zachauer, Adrian Bozo, Owen Boyle, and you can't forget Jacob James and A.J. Griffin, the two towers of that team that, you know, didn't necessarily dominate like we thought, but played well through each other, and also just providing a lot more defense than anything. But there's the height advantage right there. I mean, that's as plain as it gets.
How are you supposed to stop that?
You don't. I guess that's the idea, unfortunately. There's a quick shot, though, by Tristan Norris. Again, some standouts on this Raptors team as well, though. We mentioned Kia Jenkins, a bit quiet in the first half. Had 20-plus points in yesterday's affair and win, but also, too, just still playing hard, still playing well. Tylen James, as well as long as Katrin Cherry Jr. Got to give a lot of credit to Cherry Jr. He's playing well on the defensive side. He's been a menace. He had 5 steals in half number 1. And, you know, also at one point had 6 offensive rebounds, so still making it happen on certain ends of the court. Just unfortunately hasn't translated to points yet for the Raptors, but it certainly will in due time. So remember, the clock will run. It's a 24-point advantage now. It's just about the Raptors eating into this lead and seeing what they can do and what can be effective on the offensive side. Here's Zachauer with the 3 off the mark. And once again, that didn't even take height. That was the right place at the right time there for Mr. Jacob James.
Fair enough. Billy just wants to live by there is no height advantage because
I want to believe that there can't be a height advantage, but I'm starting to have to accept it. But then again, that's the right place at the right time there for Adrian Griffin.
But he's towering over everyone.
He's towering over everyone, yes, but he's having to reach down, which means he's reaching even further. There's a good 3 from Tristan Norris. That was much needed. 25-point advantage now for the Liberty Edge.
And you've seen the full court press all second half. I know it's been early, but this has been the problem.
And there's James. Yes, there's an advantage there, but nobody there to guard him as well. 27 points is the swing, and I think the Raptors just needing a timeout to regroup.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Honestly, I think their defense was better when they did not run the press, but I like the idea of the press because you're trying to make them make a mistake, right? If you're going fast-paced and you're getting in their face, hands up, normally you're able to get the ball back and make them pass it. See, on this time, they're just going up and down the floor like it's an escalator. I mean, it's going pretty quick, and I'm surprised that they're just finding these wide-open buckets under the basket, and I'm questioning maybe they should change up their trap a little bit. Instead of pressuring the inbound, wait for the inbound to come in and kind of do what we saw the Jaguars do last game and just trap one side of the ball because that's what's going to make them make a decision. If they're trapped and they have nowhere to go, that's what I'm looking at here.
13:41 remains in this contest. It's going to be really quick, folks, because, again, this clock will continue to run. And if the points continue to be 20 or more in terms of a deficit, that means at the 2-minute mark, this game will conclude. So the question becomes, can the Raptors eat into the lead, or do the Liberty Edge maintain their current dominance and end this game early? We'll wait and see. Katrin Cherry Jr., I know as hard as he's playing, he's wanting it to be cut within 20 and perhaps maybe play a little bit more basketball. Here's an open shot coming from D. Harden. Had a little bit of late pressure there from 3 defenders. It's back the other way with Pozo. Got a little bit of half-court pressure coming from the Raptors, too, changing it up just a bit. Certainly trying to find maybe a little bit of pressure and presence and maybe prevent some paint-style points coming for the Edge. Here's a 3 from Zachauer. And, I mean, that was just pure.
I mean, how can you stop this team? The Edge have been so in rhythm, so in transition. The threes are falling. The height is there. Yes, it's there, Billy.
Everybody's gonna be like, Billy, the height was there. The height was there. You know what? I want the Raptors to have a chance. I love a good story. They're fighting, they're playing, and they're making life hard. See, I mean, it's moments like that you got to be proud of. You're forcing ill-advised shots, and you know, you got to ride home with it. Here's Tylen James kicking it out. James and Lewis working in tandem. Pozo to guard. Up top, he's got help from Norris and Harden. We have yet to see Kia Jenkins on the floor here in half number 2. That shot off the mark, and it goes right into the hands of Jacob James.
Ooh, what a move.
Boyle getting shifty. Zachauer. kicks it out. Here's a shot from Pozo. Oh, and an in-and-out shot is off the mark under 12 minutes remaining. Here's Norris in transition. Griffin takes it away. Pozo working on Lewis. Lewis able to snatch it right up. So when the Raptors move a little bit quicker, it seems to be in their favor just a bit, as Lewis and James working in tandem off the mark. That one rolling out of play. Clock continues to run, and the advantage, Mike, still remains at 30. That's our largest lead of the game, by the way, folks.
That might be the largest lead of this weekend. So, I mean, it's been a lot of good teams here, but the Edge just absolutely pouring it on.
You know, actually, I don't even want to mention the teams either because, you know, I don't want any negativity towards these kids. There was a 71-29 game, remember, in game number 1, so that was a bit unfortunate. Nonetheless, though, it is the biggest lead of the day as it continues to grow there, as Mr. Owen Boyle with a strong finish to the line. He has really used that left-handed finish today to his demise, or really to the demise of the Raptors as well, and to his delight, 52-20. He's got a chance to make it a 33-point advantage. So Boyle at the line for the first time. That mark is pure. 33 points, now the advantage. 10.5 minutes remain. The Raptors just looking to get on the board. That shot, no doubt. I mean, that was Evan Sweat just running into a wall. So it'll be a reset here coming for the Raptors. It'll be Lewis up top. Katrin Cherry Jr. for 3. He's got it. That was much needed. 30 points is now the advantage. Under 10 minutes remaining, Boyle going to take it up. Boyle feeds a nice pass and just an unfortunate finish there.
Just got to dunk it next time.
You know, it seems like I'm kind of getting the vibe here that Jacob James just does not want to.
I think he can. I really
definitely
do.
think he can. I just don't know if he wants to.
There was pressure.
There was some pressure. There was some pressure. Here's Pozo working on the inside. He's got some help there from Tanner Evans. That 3 off the mark, right place, right time. He got it that time. He had a chance to make up for it. So James gets back on the board. He's got 16 points along with 12 rebounds. Make it 13 as that one falls right into his hands. Here comes Pozo. He'll work with Boyle. Boyle's got an open lane to the basket, and that sidestep shot's off the mark. Here come the Raptors. Going up, going in, and Evan Sweat gets on the board. Under 9 minutes remaining. Here's Pozo. Griffin on the inside, kicks it out. There's a shot. Evans
good
can't
pass.
get it, but good pass. It wasn't a shot. How about the assist? Oh my goodness.
Every time that happens, you got to say good pass, even though what might have been a shot might not have been intended. Good pass.
Good pass. 32 points is the advantage. Slapping it away. Griffin can't save it. As you saw, Pozo and Griffin just trying to keep it in play in transition. 8 and some change remains. The clock continues. 6 and some change remain in the game because this game should end at the 2-minute mark. And remember, folks, we will return right around the May 10th and 11th mark for some state championship basketball. So be on the lookout with that. Again, it's the Florida Athletics Network. Billy Adams alongside my co-host, analyst, cameraman, timeout aficionado, and former basketball player Michael Zanetti. So again, we're working, we're grinding, we're making it happen here, and we're coming alive at the Pasco County Wiregrass Ranch Campus out in Wesley Chapel, Florida. We saw a recent substitution coming from Jason Lundquist. He checks back in after having a couple points and a couple steals in half number 1. 7.5 minutes remain in a game that has been incredibly lopsided in terms of the Liberty Edge, but we have Kia Jenkins at the line for the first time for the Raptors, and he'll finally get on the board. So timeout on the floor, 7:21 remains, and I would assume after this timeout we'd go into probably the final 5-minute stretch and end this game.
It's tough for me to, break it down at this point. It's both teams have kind of taken their foot off the gas. I mean, honestly, it's about having fun now. As a part of a losing team, personally, it's definitely, you don't want to beat yourself up too much, and I think it's a good mindset to just be a goofy person, a personality. That's kind of how I took it, like just have an uplight, spirited kind of approach, like a little George Kittle action, but try and find the life in everything. Just because you're down by 30 doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It's a game of basketball. You're supposed to have fun, and I think that's what the Raptors need to try and do to close out this game, because it is out of reach.
It is out of reach at this point, and certainly you can take some positives away. I mean, the Raptors continue to play hard. They continue to play with one another. They're not losing focus of what's at hand here, and it's playing hard defense and getting some offensive possessions to go their way. They're still playing hard. They're still making life hard for the Liberty Edge at times, and also making key stops. Yes, there's a height advantage. There's a clear age gap just a little bit, too. Some of these kids on the Liberty Edge looking a bit older, but nonetheless, playing hard, playing with focus, and playing through one another. That's important, and that's key. You got to give credit, too, to guys like Cason Lewis, Evan Sweat. They're playing really hard. Kia Jenkins as well, playing within themselves and trying to see what works, as we have a foul on the floor. And it looked like it should have been, I believe they called it on Tanner Evans. So not many fouls in this game. That's been the one caveat. Everybody playing relatively clean. Tanner Evans was called for that foul. It will remain with the Raptors. Lundqvist providing pressure. Lewis able to maintain. Jenkins up top. Haven't seen a lot of him yet. Lundqvist making life really hard. And you know what, Mike? I personally love plays like that. It doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but that's a forced turnover there by Lundqvist. And that, again, those are plays that you just love to see.
I might have been watching the game instead of moving the camera, so apologies at home. It's entertaining.
It happens. It happens. Everybody's playing hard still in a 30-point contest. Wilmot trying to fight for the ball. As the ref makes the call, it's going to go back to the Liberty Edge. 3 and some change remains here, just under 4. Lundqvist to throw it in. Boyle on the recipient end, guarded by James. It'll be Lundqvist and James working up. Wilmot, here's the trap coming from the Raptors. Excellent possession from James. He'll go up. James going in, and he's going to be fouled going up, and he should go to the line. So they are going to call the foul on Jason Lundqvist for the Liberty Edge. 30 points is the margin with 5 minutes remaining. It should be 3, barring any change. It'll be Tylen James at the line for the second time in today's contest, as that first one goes off the mark. James has 6 points today and a couple assists and a couple steals, including that most recent one. You saw that, you could hear the trapping recognition from the Raptors coach, and James knew exactly what that meant, and it was an effective steal. Nonetheless, it does result in no points, as the Liberty Edge are back down with 2.5 remaining. Here's Griffin working in tandem with Wilmot. That ball trying to stay within possession. Lewis watches it bounce off his feet. It remains with the Liberty. It'll be Evans throwing it in. Boyle once again receiving it. James can't get it. Pozo for 3. It rattles out, excuse me. Boyle and Wilmot working. Up top, it's Pozo. And Pozo loses the handle. James once again steals. Pozo and Evans fighting for it. Griffin's got possession. Griffin can't get it. James rotating. Here's Katrin Cherry Jr. going up with Sweat. They can't finish. And there might have been some contact.
I think it was blocked. He got stuffed up the rim.
Nonetheless, it was an impressive feat there for a moment from the Raptors squad. Here's a 3 from Griffin. He did it all first half, off the mark. Pozo takes it right back. 90 seconds remain here in this contest. Evans is going to end up with the ball. Everyone just trying to stay on their feet at this point in a fast-paced affair.
I mean, what a sequence of events over the past minute. You had back and forth, back and forth. I don't even think a point was scored.
I'm not sure it was. Yeah, it's still a 30-point swing. Oh my goodness!
So
I
you
just
see the resilience. Of
it was
both teams.
just it was just interesting to see it evolve from steal after steal. People were just trying to stay on their feet.
I was just trying to track it.
Oh my goodness! Here's Pozo, under a minute remaining, going up. Katrin Cherry Jr. with a nice defensive effort. Not even a foul either. They credit that with a block by Cherry Jr.
There was a few bodies in there. It could have been some contact.
There were plenty of bodies. I think they know. They just know. It's game at this point. We're approaching the 30-second remaining mark here for the Liberty Edge. And once again, another foul, this time on Katrin Cherry Jr. So the clock continues to wind down, folks, and we are approaching the near end of this game as Cherry Jr. fights for it. It'll be Wilmot for the final throw-in of this contest as we wind down. The refs know it too. And the final 3 seconds tally off. They are getting ready, and that should end the game. And we're trying to see, that should end the game.
I heard timeout.
I heard
as the
timeout,
2
and I
minutes
was confused.
hit, so
No,
I was confused.
That should be the end of the game. Again, it's 20-plus points in the final 2 minutes decides these games. So it's a 30-point victory coming for the Liberty Edge and a phenomenal effort of defense and heavy offensive possessions coming in the paint. Shout out to Jacob James and A.J. Griffin. Some huge performances. We saw Jace Lundquist come in and provide some heavy pressure on the defensive side. And just an overall impressive performance coming for this Liberty Edge squad against a Raptors squad who, Mike, despite losing by 30, I think they fought hard to the very end.
I agree. That's what you want to look at. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing when it comes to staying in these games. Even if the scoreboard says otherwise, at least you can have the heart, the hustle, and continue to stay in the right headspace regardless of the competitiveness.
So nonetheless, in about 15 minutes' time, we will get set for game number 3. We got another Hoop Squad taking the floor in today's action. It's the Red Hoop Squad showing up this time, and they will get set to tip off in about 14 and a half minutes. Once again, Billy Adams alongside my man of many talents and the voice of reason of Michael Zanetti with Jonathan Torres at the producing helm. This is the Florida Athletics Network, and we will see you back for Game 3 action in about 14 minutes right after this.
Depending on where this finds you, hello, good morning, fret not, tap in. But most important, believe in yourself, always stand for something, give it everything you got and make no assumption. Shall we proceed to the top with it? Let it run. Shall we proceed to the top with it? Come on, Otis.